focused on the consequences of climate change and shocks on small-scale producers, farmers in Sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia, and better understanding what drives their decision-making when faced with climate change, when faced with poverty and vulnerability. What sort of information do we need to better understand their behaviors and their responses and perceptions of those changes, and how better understanding would lead to better shaping policies and investments to combat those things. I was able to secure some funding for them for a couple of years with the idea of, it's now manifested, to develop a business plan to consult with, we focused on Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. Would the team go out and have conversations with potential partners, with stakeholders? What are the issues around data and governance, particularly now with this lens of AI? What could they do to broaden participation, both in terms of participation in the conference, in terms of researchers contributing to the journal, in terms of really getting more of the conversation at the global level to include representation from these more neglected areas or less areas that have participated less. And one thing about that is, it is not just a one-way street. It's not just saying, yes, we need to include them, that they can better access the sort of developments and the knowledge and the insights from the northern, richer countries, but there's a lot to learn from the global south. So it's a two-way sort of, first and foremost thing they could do is carry on doing what they're doing, but with this broader representation. I think it was sort of biased. There were a lot of underrepresented groups, and I think in part, at least for the Sub-Saharan Africa communities, they're better representation. So I think the basic, the community, the sharing of knowledge, the conferences, again, mainly sharing of knowledge, and the publications, again, it's a pathway for researchers to show themselves, become the stars of the region in those areas. So I think that carrying on doing what they're doing on a more comprehensive basis. The other thing then is, in the sense of the research and the methodology, the things that the researchers like to do, is what are the ways in which we can do that in a cost-effective way? How do you gather information? Because it's much more dispersed, it's in many languages, it's not well documented, there's a lot of oral traditions. What are the research methodologies we could apply to gather that information in the most cost-effective ways in order to boost that sort of more equitable database? I think the DFP has a role in maybe helping see what the best ways in education, what sort of curricula could be brought into universities to accelerate the rate at which people are acquiring knowledge and capabilities around that. And not just in a research community, but I think it's important to the translational part of that. How does that, let's say, hope improved understanding and knowledge and analysis translate into better policy and analysis? We need those practitioners who support policymakers to be able to take that information and funnel it in the right fora and the right formats into the type of information that can better inform decision making.